Everybody, welcome to another Rod Squad Retro Reviews. Today's the RETRON 5. I just got the RETRON 5 today. Hyperkin, you started off on a bad note, and I'll tell you why. Today my wife went over to FYE here in Ridgewood, New York, and in Myrtle Avenue in Ridgewood, and we picked up a RETRON 5. We picked up the exact same machine that you have here. Unfortunately, that RETRON, for some reason or another, did not work. It was defective. So there goes your first one. The very first time I get the RETRON 5, and it's not working. So I went back. Luckily, I went back. I have my receipt. I saw Tim. Tim is a shout out to you, Tim. Thank you so much for your help today. Tim works at the FYE here in Myrtle Avenue in Ridgewood, and he was very, very kind enough to not only check the other system and came to the same conclusion I did, that it was defective, but he also went ahead and got me another one and tried it out before I even left the store. So Tim, again, thank you very much. I really appreciate your assistance here. So this is a RETRON 5 review, very, very quick. Just going to give you a quick thoughts. That's my first one. When you buy a system and the very first time you turn it on it's defective, or the very first one you get is defective, that's a con. I mean, you got pros and you got cons. There goes the first one hit against you. But of course, if you don't know the RETRON 5, the RETRON 5 is a retro system in which allows you to play different games from different game systems, such as the Sega Genesis, the Nintendo, the regular Nintendo, the Super Nintendo. Also allows you to play out-of-region ones, such as the Super Famicom for the Super Nintendo, the Famicom for the Nintendo, the Sega Mega Drive. Also allows you to play Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games through another portal. It has different portals for every single game. As you can see right now, I have a Sega Genesis in the Sega Genesis port. The very last port is a Sega Genesis port. Then you have the Super, looks like the Super NES port. Then you had an NES port, and then you had a separate port altogether for the Famicom cartridges. If you don't know very much about them, the Famicom cartridges are built a little differently. So they were created a little section just for that. But then on the very front part, you have a section in which you can go ahead and enter Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games, Game Boy Advance games. That's just awesome. I mean, one system that has all. I mean, theoretically, it's just fun. It just sounds great. Unfortunately, I got a few negative things about it. The first thing is the controller. The controller is a bit awkward. It has several different buttons. It's Bluetooth technology. As soon as you turn on your RETRON for the very first time, you turn on the RETRON 5, you have to calibrate your controller to the TV and to the system. Also, I don't know if I didn't mention, another good thing about this is that all the games can now be seen on HDMI. It comes with an HDMI import. It connects straight to your flat screen television to give you high def at 720 pixels, which is awesome. That's just awesome. Today I tried the actual very first Mortal Kombat, and it looks awesome. The sound was great. It just looked great. So that's a pro, huge. Just the way the games are played. Right now I just want to show you, it also brings you to a home screen when you turn it on. The home screen gives you several different options. It gives you options of saving games. So if you were to take the cartridge out, it automatically saves where you were. So you could go back, and when you put the controller back on, you start exactly where you were previously. So that's kind of cool, because you have some of those old games which are really good, but if you really wanted to beat the game, you'd have to sit there and play the game all day. It could be 15 hours you're playing these games. So if you've been through that, you know exactly where I'm coming from. Also has the save state slot, save states. It has a filter. It has scan lines. It has extra volume. It has the reset. It has return to menu option. Also, it has built-in video game codes for certain games. So if you have trouble with some of the old games, some of the old games are a lot more difficult than the new ones, it gives you cheat codes so you can go ahead and beat them. I understand that Hyperkin itself is going to go ahead and assist by creating other cheat codes which you could download through an SD card through your computer on their website. So you can go ahead and filter that into your RETRON system. One of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and get the RETRON 5. I'm a true blue retro gamer. I love my systems. All my systems work. I've taken care of them. I have the Nintendo, Genesis. I have all these systems and they work great. My feeling is that I love them. I am retro. I am true blue to that. If I want to play the old games, I play them on my system. But I wanted to give this an opportunity because I can play so many different games on it, on this system, without having to bring out all the other systems. So that kind of like helps out a little bit, especially if you're a person that don't have the old systems. You can have one of these, and it's just, you know, a shelf space, so it does help you. But the graphics, I just want to show you. I have Pinocchio, one of the games that I picked up today over at the Gotham Thrift Shop. I got Pinocchio in the game. So I just want to give you an idea of what it looks like. The cool thing about it also is that it has several different ports, so you can actually use an actual controller from the system. I'm using a Genesis controller. Now the other cool thing about this is not only do you have to use you can use the Genesis controller. Give you that. You can use a Genesis controller for Genesis games, but you can use a Genesis controller to play Nintendo games, Famicom games, Super Nintendo games, and such. That's kind of cool because you could play Sonic the Hedgehog with a Super Nintendo controller or Nintendo controller. So overall, I just want to give you a quick idea of what it looks like. The HDMI does give the game a clear picture. It looks awesome. I give them credit. The old systems don't have this capability. It gives you HDMI wire. You connect it to your television. It gives you a great picture. So just a quick little view of what the Pinocchio looks like. I'm going to go ahead and do another part of this retro. I just wanted to give you guys a quick idea of it. But Hyperkin, you're getting this. The very first time I get one of your systems, and it was a defective one. So you should really thank Tim from the FYE here in Ridgewood, New York, in Myrtle Avenue. So my first thoughts on the RETRON: mixed. Graphics are great. The controller itself, it's a bit bulky, but overall, I'm going to go ahead and keep playing it, and I'll come back and give you my second thoughts on it. But for now, graphics are good. Not their fault that I got one, so I'll be back for another view on the RETRON 5 with another Rod Squad person here to give his points. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.